Hello, I'm Skid, and it is the 16th of November 2021, and today we are going to be giving you a look at Satisfactory. This is explicitly the experimental build for Update 5 that we'll be playing on, although multi-monitor support has been more or less the same since release, but we'll get to that in a bit. This video is going to double as both a look at and episode 1 of a Let's Play. So in the interest of people who don't care about the multi-monitor support, which is what I'm going to go over first, I will put chapters in the description below, so they'll appear in the scrub bar, whatever it's called, the playback bar, and you can skip around to actually getting into the game. But before that, we do need to talk about multi-monitor support. So as you might be able to tell from this pre-rendered cut screen in the background, it is vertical minus. That is because the game is running on Unreal Engine and Epic still don't understand how field of view work. You'd think they would have learnt over the last 20 years that the Widescreen Gaming Forum has been fixing every single one of their games that doesn't have proper support because they don't have it in their engine. But anyway, the developers of this game, Coffee Stain Studios, have gone to the effort to try and make things easy for us. If we come up to the video options, we can see right down here, maintain Y-axis FoV aspect ratio. This is basically the same configuration option that you would have to edit manually for most Unreal Engine games. It's just they put it into the options menu, which is great. If Epic hadn't disabled the ability to do that a couple of years ago, and basically any game created in their engine, I think it's somewhere around about 2019, 2020. But basically that configuration option, the engine doesn't care what you set it to in the configuration file anymore. So this line here, it was really nice to have. Now it doesn't do anything. Fortunately, there's another way around this. But in order to show that, we need to get into game first. So we will be starting a new game. I might, towards the back end of this video, depending on how long the recording goes, show you my last game, which was back in Update 3, just so that I can show you things like the fluid system and the vehicle system, which we almost certainly will not get to here. So we're going to start a new game. This menu is a little broken. Most of the menus are fine, we'll get to that. You can get around the fact that this menu is broken though. But what we have here is basically 4 different starting locations. There's a fixed map in this game, and the game can drop you in one of 4 different parts of it. The first 2 are more designed for new players. They're not going to give you too much time. They've got plenty of build space, and they have plenty of vegetation around. The Northern Forest has a lot of vegetation, but also less buildable space, or less easily buildable space. You can make better buildable space, but there's not much flat in the way of flat ground, and there's a lot of trees and brush in the way that you're going to have to clear out if you want to build here, which is where we're going. And then the Dune Desert has lots of buildable space, but not much in the way of vegetation. And the reason that's a problem is because early game power is largely going to come from biomass, and your only source of biomass is wood and plants. So, we shall start a new game in the Northern Forest. We'll keep the session type private. Skip intro, skips the onboarding session. This basically starts you at tier 1 with your hub fully constructed. We're going to go through the onboarding process just because it will give me the opportunity to explain some of the mechanics, because it will go through it for me. And we shall call this Skid Inc. Subcontract. And then there's no button here to start the game, but fortunately this is an input box, and this input box is tied to the submit button, so just hit return. Okay, so I'm going to let the original, or this opening cut screen play. Again, it's vertical minus, but I can't fix that. I need to have landed first.
Attention Pioneer. The following instructional video is a summary of your impending duties as an exoplanetary pioneer for Fixit Incorporated. Fixit pioneers have 3 cyclical assigned pillars of work to ultimately accomplish project assembly. Use provided blueprints to build the necessary buildings. Chart the planet and gather resources to provide desired results and improve your infrastructure. Make sure to report any unusual discoveries to R&D for analysis. Expand your factories, outposts, and pipelines through automation and augmentation. That's it. Get to work and be effective. Warning, planetfall imminent. Please remain seated during full procedure. Atmospheric entry in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Planetfall procedure initialized.
That's some serious popping. I wonder if that's a issue caused by the resolution. So if you start this way, then your drop location is going to be somewhat random within the area you selected.
Planetfall complete. Please ensure the integrity of your multi-purpose exploration suit is at 100%. Remember, efficiency first. Godspeed.
Slight amount of clipping on the thumb there. Okay, now we're in game. So now we can fix things.
Welcome to Planet Massage 2 ABB, your designated sector in the binary star system of Akija. I am Ada, also known as Artificial Directory and Assistant, tasked to support pioneers, such as you, in their mission. You are the third of your sector to survive planetfall. Congratulations. Note: objective-based introduction initialized. Welcome to onboarding.
Well, let Ada talk.
First objective: please dismantle the drop pod. The resulting materials will be repurposed to construct a habitat and utility base, from now on referred to as the hub.
Okay,
Note: Fix-It Incorporated is cost-effective and efficient. We do not waste.
Okay, good. I think she shut up for now. So yeah, as you can see, the game is indeed vertical minus, and the trick I'm going to show you to fix that doesn't work while you're in the drop pod. It may actually work, but it doesn't do anything until you get out of the drop pod. So the thing you need to do is firstly enable the game's console. You do that by pressing and holding Control and Shift and pressing L. That will enable the console. You then need to open the console and put in a console command. The button to open the console is typically the one above tab and to the left of 1. If you do that, you'll get this bar across the bottom. And the command you want to enter is FOV, followed by whatever FOV you want to set. I find that 143 is a suitable FOV for the position I have my monitors and the size of my monitors. And then that's it. Fortunately, once you've unlocked the console, you don't need to unlock it again. And if you want to enter the command again, you just need to press tilde up and return. And I am also going to load the FOV statistics. So once you've done it once, it's relatively simple just to quickly get things up and running again. So yeah, other things to note, I don't believe I don't have access to the inventory yet. We'll wait until it gives me a tool, or, there we go, we can pull one up here. So the FOV fix only fixes the rendered area. It doesn't fix your character model. So as you can see, usual issue with first-person Unreal games, the model on this particular tool is gigantic and in the wrong position. Thankfully, I didn't know this until this morning, where I actually saw the option. If we come back into the video settings, first-person FOV modifier. This goes from 1 all the way up to or goes from 0.1 all the way up, 0.5 all the way up to 1.5. I'll get there eventually. And if we bang it all the way up, and it's easier to do it if I actually had the Xenobasher in my hand, but I don't have it yet. Put it all the way up to 1.5, click apply, come back into the game, get my tool back out. Looks about right. I'm fairly sure that's roughly where it wants to be, and it's a reasonable size. You can just leave it. Most of your tools will end up on your right-hand monitor, but when you get access to the chainsaw, that is obnoxiously big and comes right the way across the middle of the monitor. So this option is nice to have, and I am glad to know that it is here. Anyway, it wanted me to grab this tool and to disassemble this. So F is the default key for dismantle mode, and then just left click, and we now have the resources.
All important fix-it data and communication is recorded and stored in the codex, including these steps.
Okay, so this is the codex. So this is basically just in-game information. Here are our onboarding messages. And this is a list of all the recipes that we know so far. We can use, I think we can do it from in here. Fairly sure we can. We can basically add to a queue. There it is. We can add to a to-do list, and it will also then give us the material requirements over here. There's a number of places that you can do this from, and in fact I think the game is probably about to tell me.
Second objective. Please ensure you have your Fix-It Incorporated Xeno Zapper equipped before leaving the drop zone. Note: according to Fix-It regulations, every pioneer should have access to a means of defense against extraterrestrial threats.
Okay, I might want to report that to
Third
Coffee Stain
objective.
Studio.
Please familiarize yourself with the resource scanner to find iron. Note: the acquisition of iron is considered essential in preparation for all future objectives.
So yeah, it looks like the option to move the tools doesn't factor in or doesn't correctly adjust for the position of. I'm just going to put this back to 1 for a second so you can see the kind of size of it. It looks like it doesn't factor in the effects that apply to it. So yeah, the next thing it wants me to do is find an iron node. So finding all resources, which are basically unlimited and mostly come in the form of nodes, is done via the resource scanner. This is obviously your standard weapon wheel type construct. We only have one resource at the minute, but basically you select it, it will send out a ping, and if we keep an eye on, I think, yep, the bar at the top, it will show us where it's found some and the direction that they are in. Now the one I want to go to, I believe, is the one further away over there, because I recognise that geothermal vent, and I know that I built my previous base over there, and this time I want to build it over there, or at least the starting base. So that plant over there is dangerous. Might as well show you it while we're standing right next to it, if I can get a good view of it before it starts standing up. So what this thing's going to do is it's going to crawl up, unfold, and then it's basically going to spread poisonous gas in the area around it, which will slowly kill you. You will also find this gas out and about in the world in some places. But yeah, at this stage we don't want to be going in there, we will slowly die. So once you've also selected what you're looking for, in this case iron ore, you can just tap the V button again to send out another ping. Let's grab some brush as we're going over. Let's also grab this over here. Damn it. I was hoping it would not be bothered. It isn't bothered. I'm not close enough. Okay, we're not going to grab that. Those over there are enemies. I can probably deal with them.
Picking up multiple Fix-It personnel in the area. Proceed with harvest before it's too late.
Shush. Stop spoiling. The thing they're guarding talks to you. There appears to be a terrain bug here. Is that a result of their more recent changes? Something else I'll have to try and remember to report. So this is obviously early access, and this is the experimental build, so it is very early access. What I'm planning on doing is, once we've done with this episode today, I'll be moving this over to a dedicated server just to offload so that I can offload some of the CPU load from running the factory. Where'd it go? Some of the CPU load from running the factory onto my server, because it'll make it slightly easier to record. My computer's not struggling at the minute, but I worry when I have a large factory. It depends on how well threaded this game is. So I don't want to take the risk. So I'll be running it on a dedicated server that I'll be taking up and down whenever I'm recording. So it would allow me to test that for them as well, because they're new. It hasn't told me to find and collect these yet, but can I? Yes. So this is limestone. We're going to need some of it later. We don't actually have a... Okay, let's do what it wants us to in the order that it wants us to. I can't skip around because we haven't skipped the onboarding. We have to do things in order. If you skip the onboarding, then you start with a bunch of resources, basically enough resources to build a decent small factory for the 3 primary resources, which are limestone, copper, and iron. Iron being the thing we're heading to now. It also skips a bunch of tedium that we will have to do in a bit. That I will show you once we find the iron and set up our hub. Memory serves, we're nearby. I do want to grab all that stuff down there, so let's go kill this beastie. Not that we can do anything with his carcass yet. Okay, I think there's only one dude over here. So we've got a little crash. Oh, no, there's 2 of them. It's double hitting me. That's not fair. Oh, it isn't dead. That's why it's not giving me its loot. Yeah, there are like crashed, these like crashed or broken drop pods lying around. You can open them up if you can provide them with the resources needed to repair them, and in most cases also provide them with power. But they're also good for some basic resources. Just to pick up as you're coming by. So these things will come in handy. But the fact that this is here means that we are now very close to where we're heading. There they are. Okay, so this is where we are going to start with our basic setup, our basic operation. There's that thing. There should be one over here as well. There it is. Okay. So we have found our iron. And it wants us to gather the iron. So let's gather the iron.
4th objective, build the hub. Note, to complete this objective, the resources salvaged from the drop pod will be consumed. Caution, ensure the hub is built on spacious open terrain close to the presence of iron sources. Failure to do so will likely result in non-optimal progress.
So I can't remember whether or not the... what is it? Once you've fully built the hub, you can just pick it up and move it, but I can't remember whether or not you can do that when the hub is in an incomplete state. But she is right that you want it nearby the iron sources when you're very starting out, because you also need to use it to process some basic resources so that you can get your automation running. There we go, words, they're hard. So press Q to bring up the build menu, select the hub, find a location for it. You can use the mouse wheel to turn it around. You've got all the buttons below that tell you, allow you to snap it to guidelines and things like that. We are just going to plonk it here. Can we disassemble it? We can disassemble it. Okay, yeah. So don't mind what she says.
Congratulations.
You can just pick it up and move it.
Hub feature, manual craft bench. Hub feature, hub terminal. Fifth objective, complete hub upgrade 1. Note, the craft bench and hub terminal are essential for progression to the next objective.
So this is basically one of the two research systems. The general idea of the game is just to progress through these milestones, or progress through these tiers by completing milestones and then upgrading the tiers and upgrading the space elevator. We're not going to get to the space elevator today, almost certainly not, but we can start on this. So we're going to select this milestone. It's telling us it will give us an equipment workshop, the portable miner, which is really, really useful for early game. Again, if you skip the onboarding, you will start with 4 of these, and some more inventory space. Or inflates our pocket dimension. And all we need to do is provide it with 10 iron rods. So if we select that milestone, it's appeared up here on our right hand side. And then we come over to here, our manual craft bench. We can't craft these yet because we need to craft the iron ingots, so we need to select the iron ingots, and then all we need to do is press and hold this. We do not need to tap it. So we'll quickly get the 10 we need. We'll bung it in there, and we'll click Upgrade Hub.
Congratulations, you have unlocked Building Workshop, Equipment Portable Miner, Inventory Additional Slots, Hub Feature Personal Storage. Sixth objective, Complete Hub Upgrade 2. Note, portable miners require no power and will mine a node until their inventory is full. Note, multiple portable miners can be used on a single node.
Okay. So let's get this selected. We're going to need... We could actually skip build it or skip the portable miner stage, but I can't. I want to get that up and running quickly because we're going to need it for resources. But we'll select the milestone. So the portable miner needs to be made using the equipment workshop. The crafting bench, this here, is basically just this thing but portable and mobile. So if you're starting construction of a new base, it's always handy to drop one of these down, just in the event you run out of resources, but you still have like basic resources nearby that you can then process. Using this is no faster than the bench that we have here, and it's not automated, it's still manual. But first things first, we need the equipment workshop, so we want to tell it that we want to make one of those. And for that, we're going to need 6 plates and 4 rods, so that's 12. We're going to need 16 ingots. Okay, this isn't going to take too long. If we get to a point where it's going to take me to like a couple of minutes, I will fast forward through all of that. But I am going through onboarding, so you don't have to. No, we need 6 of those. Okay, so let us drop down an equipment workshop. Once we drop this down, it will disappear from our craft queue, or our build queue. And then in here is where we can build tools. So we want to build portable miner. We're going to need 2 more plates, so that's 3, and then 1 more rod. So 4. Same thing here, click and hold to build. Okay, so to place the portable mounder, you need it in your hand. Let the Pioneer examine it, and then just plonk it down on a node. Okay, and it will get to work. So, what do we need, or what do we unlock with this? I'm just trying to remember. That'll get us the smelter. It's not going to get us automation, but the smelter's going to be really handy. So, while that's mining away, we have enough resources for this, I think. So that's going to be 15 plus 20, 35. So yeah, this is obviously the slowest part. Doing the onboarding, just because you have to wait for this. But if you're new to the game, I think it's still worth going through this just to get you in the habit of using all the systems and features. But if you played this sort of game before, now you don't need to. 10 of these. $20 of these. Power generation.
Congratulations, you have unlocked Hub feature, Biomass Burner, Scanner feature, Copper, New Buildings and Recipes, which can be found in the Build menu and Craft bench respectively. 7th objective, complete Hub Upgrade 3. Note, connect buildings to a biomass burner for power. Note, buildings such as the smelter require a recipe to be set. Advice, automate the smelting process and use portable miners for optimal results.
We shall do what she says. So one thing I've not gone over at the minute is you obviously have a what the hell do you call these things now? The name eludes me. You have the quick bar at the bottom here. You can basically assign anything in the builder menu to this, and that will also apply to a lot of things when it comes to the customizer, which is a thing we'll unlock later. So, okay, we actually have a lot of copper wire already. Did we pick up 500 from that other place? No, because it would have been multiple stacks. I must have started with some. I don't think that's saying I need 500. I think that's saying I have 500. I wasn't paying attention to how many rods we need. Anyway, we'll get this smelter up and we'll connect her up. Can we make biomass yet? No, it means we're going to have to just throw in grass and the like. So, let's build ourselves a smelter. For the time being, we'll put it here. Let's build as a power pole. Ooh, okay, no, let's just connect it directly. We can't. We need wire. Oh, we can build a power pole because we did grab... Oh no, we don't have access to the actual technology yet. We picked up limestone, but we don't actually have access to concrete. But we can just connect that straight to here. So this here is a power pole. Typically what you'll end up doing is you'll have these connected and then you'll connect power pole to power pole. But if you select the icon I've got in the minute, the 2, this is just connecting power lines. And if you try to connect this to nothing, it will actually create a power pole for you. But all we need is that connected to there. And then we want this thing smelting iron ore, and we will throw in all the iron ore we have, and we'll just let it run. It has no power. It has no power because I've not fed this thing fuel. I think I can feed it leaves. This is inefficient, but we don't have access to biomass yet. Yeah, we can just feed it leaves. I imagine biomass is going to be one of the next unlocks, so let's actually... it's not the next one, so it's going to be shortly afterwards, it seems. But let's activate this, and we're going to need to go get ourselves some copper, although actually we don't because we picked it up, but I'm going to go find you some copper so I can show you it. And we'll let that run. While that thing's running, we'll quickly make ourselves another... let's make ourselves a few of them. Oh, helps if you actually pick up the ingots. We'll make ourselves another personal miner or two. What was the ratio on these? 2 and 5, so let's go 6 and 15. Okay, that's 3. Drop this here. Okay, so I know where there is copper, but for the sake of doing it properly, there's the copper. So we are heading over to a different kind of enemy. This thing over here is a little bit of a pain in the arse, and I would actually like some food before I wander past it because it's almost certainly going to hit me a few times. Grab some more brush because that's our main source of power. The other thing I'm getting along with leaves is flower petals. They'll be used for color cartridges later, which are going to be used if you want to put stencils down on the ground. I believe this is an edible plant, and there's another one over here. So if you want to eat food, you need to have it in your hand, and then just left click. So yeah, later in the game, I can't remember if I actually said this, you will get extra hand slots, and when you do, you can then use your mouse wheel to swap between what you have selected, or what you have selected in your hand slots. So this thing, what it'll do, when we get close to it, is pop and spawn these guys. There we go. They can be a little bit more annoying when they decide to be more aggressive. These are edible as well, they'll restore half a heart. And here is our copper vein. There's also a cooldown upon using this thing. So you can't just spam click. There's one more, where is it? I suppose I should mention, the FOV option in the game does go up to about 120, which might be enough for 21 by 9 support on its own. But it most certainly is not enough for this kind of aspect ratio. That's something else I should have mentioned. I entirely skipped it. So while we're going to have to wait for some copper resources from this. So fortunately these don't take too long to fill. But yeah, obviously as you've probably seen by this point, the UI is, or the HUD is spanned, but the UI is centered, and most of the UI is scaled for a standard 1080p display, so 16 by 9. So the overwhelming majority of UI that you interact with, like this, is going to be on the center in the right place. You can't move this around or anything like that. So there's going to be stuff that's well out the way, like as you can see on the left hand side, that's where my hints are, so the tutorial. My builds are all the way on the right, my shortcuts are on the right as well, and my health is all the way on the left, which is not too bad. Basically a lot of that information is not stuff you need to know on a moment-to-moment basis. The main things are going to be your compass, which is also going to show you any landmarks or beacons you've put down, and then your hotbar. That's the word, it's a hotbar. There is actually 10 hotbars. If you hold the Alt key and move the mouse wheel, you will go through all 10 of them. Okay, that should be enough copper for now. We'll leave them mining. Actually, no, we'll pick one of them up because we don't actually need that much copper to begin with. But we are going to need some limestone. I can't get access to that one. And I can't remember offhand where the other one nearby was. So we won't worry about it for now. We'll finish the next stage of the hub. I want to build another one of those. Let's make 20 of these. Actually, before we progress any further with that, let's make sure we have built our second smeltery. I should start assigning these things to... Oh, damn. I need power line before I can have 2 of these. Okay, that's fine. It's quite literally the next thing we're about to unlock, although, can we build this? No, because we don't have concrete. So let's make our 20 plates. It's 2020, 2020.
Congratulations, you have unlocked Scanner Feature, Limestone. New buildings and recipes, which can be found in the Build menu and Craft bench respectively. 8th objective, complete hub upgrade 4. Note, use power poles to expand the power network for optimal results.
Okay, so now we can actually build our power poles. Oh no, we need... we can build them once we actually have all the resources. And what we need is more iron rods. Let's just burn all of that on that. Let's grab ourselves some more raw iron. Set this to copper, throw the copper in here, and now we can go whoop, doop, doop. There we go. How are you doing for fuel? You're doing well enough. Let's top you up though. Actually, because I know I'm not going to use all of this stuff, change of plan. Stop using the grass that I can make better fuel and start using... I put the stuff into the storage rather than take it out. The flower petals. Yeah, that's probably not going to last as long, but I don't believe I'm going to need anywhere near as many flower petals. Okay, so lime. We now have lime in our little wheel. We know there's one up there, but we can't get to it. There's apparently one over there. Oh yeah, that's around the corner. I remember where that one is. I'm going to borrow you. quickly take a run over there. And before I forget, what else did we unlock? Screws, reinforced iron. Oh, we do have access to the constructor. Ah, but we don't have access to belts. I might skip the constructor stage for now. Actually, no, given that we're going to need a whole bunch of iron plates. Let's get a constructor up and running. Let's get a couple of them up and running. Let's get 3 of them up and running. Gonna need some more cables. We're not too fussed about their position at the minute because we can't tie them together, so... I want one of you on iron plates. I want one of you on iron rods. And I want one of you on wires, although we don't actually need them, we've got plenty of wires in a minute. We'll put one of you on concrete. Did I give you iron? I gave you iron. Okay. Let's go get our limestone. Now I have to decide how much of this running around and building stuff I'm going to have to cut out and accelerate. At the very least, I want to have one fast forward point in this video just because I need to look up how to do it in DaVinci Resolve. I don't have the Xeno battery in my hand and I think I need it. I vaguely remember getting attacked by a thing over here. Okay. Now they're working, we'll chip away at this. Just having a quick look at resource usage. We've not missed any frames, we've not skipped any frames, so it looks like encoding's going fine. Slight issue with some frame rates, but I am running the game at about as high as it will go. I am running the game as high as it will go, so frame rates less than 60 frames per second is to be expected for this graphics card. My monitors do go up to 144, but if I'm recording at 60 anyway, there's not really that much point going way above it. Well, let these get one full stack and then we'll pick them up. Or we'll pick one of them up. We'll leave one of them here. Because I get the feeling I'm going to need a bunch more later. And I almost certainly will need a bunch more later. We'll probably need way more than another 100. But we'll see. We'll quickly get back to our hub. Rush our way through the next part. This is the right way. I missed my turn off. Okay, we set that to that. Oh, that helps. Always remember to power your buildings. An unpowered building does no work. Okay, maximum consumption is actually now going to meet our maximum production. So if you left click on any power generator or any power pole, it will give you this graph here. And obviously consumption is the orange line. Capacity is this green line at the top. That's the maximum amount of power your system can output. Maximum or max const is basically the maximum amount of power all of your, or its maximum consumption. It's the maximum amount of power if everything currently connected was running at full speed. That's how much power it would draw. And then obviously production is how much power is currently being produced. Okay, let's throw that in there, pull that out of there. So some of these are going to be a little bit slower than just doing it or building it manually. But others are going to be a lot faster. Plus you can build more constructors. I actually didn't want to put that many in there, but we still got to make them here. How many plates did we get? 32. We need way more than that. Let's go make the cables, since we can make them nice and fast ourselves. Let's also put away that. We want to throw that in there. Grab our concrete. We should have more than enough copper for now. Should last us for a decent amount of time. Let's make our remaining plates. Need about 40, don't we? Ah, one short. There she is.
Congratulations, you have unlocked building, conveyor belts and poles. Inventory, additional slots. 9th objective, complete hub upgrade 5. Note, portable miners cannot be connected to conveyor belts. Advice, when planning the construction of buildings, note the placement of conveyor belts.
So I believe the next unlock will give us the smelter or the miners. Yeah, miners storage. Can we brute force our way straight into this? Can we skip a step? We need 50 wires. We've got more than enough stuff for that. Largely thanks to picking it up earlier. There's 50 of that. We need some more iron rods. For that we need some more iron ingots. Have you gone through all your... Yep. Let's change you over to iron. We can make these faster in here anyway. There we go.
Congratulations, you have unlocked Building Miner Mark 1. Building Storage Container. Hub feature Additional Biomass Burner. 10th objective, complete Hub Upgrade 6. Note, there are no notes.
Noted. Okay, so yeah, at this point basically the game is just like, you've kind of got the idea now. Oh, I ran out of cables. So yeah, the game's like, you kind of got the idea now, go ahead and just do the next thing. So it's basically making sure you've got, or you've understood how the loop is supposed to work, and it's just letting you go at it. Okay, I don't think we've been given access to biomass yet, no. Okay, it's coming in the next upgrade. So we're almost at the end of this part of the tutorial. Okay, to which end? Let's actually start building a factory. Okay, there's another one over here, I believe. Just clear out the space. Okay, so let's crack the top of this off. And I need to be mindful of a particular thing, but we should go over that in a second. So here is our miner. These need to be built on basically nodes like this, but they have to have the top cleared off them. They can be rotated same as any other, but they do have to be built on a specific location. Now, this doesn't need to be told what it's going to mine. It will just do it based on the node, unlike everything else, which you have to tell it, this is what I want you to process. But the important thing here is this value here. This will make 120 per minute, or 120 iron ore per minute. That thing's docile, don't worry about it. You can run over its legs with a vehicle and it will topple over like a rag doll, but it doesn't kill it. So yeah, the values in here, power consumption per second, operations per second, and that's the efficiency it's currently running at. I think that won't actually start showing calculations until you unlock a specific feature in the hub, but that might be specifically for things like constructors and things that this value doesn't become available for those. So this thing will produce 120 per minute. Why is that important? Because if we snap that to that and build that there, and then connect the two, this thing only makes 130 per minute, which means one of these can feed 4 of these. But at the minute, we don't have any splitters or any way to separate this belt into multiples. Speaking of, so one thing I'm really bad at, which when we start getting to the playthrough you will see more and more often, I am really bad at judging the amount of space required for something and the amount of resources required to build it. Okay, so this will make us our iron ingots. We need to get power over here, but we also need to get our constructor. What resources do we need? We need 100 of each, so we're going to make 2 sets of these. This is still mostly going to be a temporary build setup. You can actually take power poles a reasonable distance. I'm kind of not explaining out some of the things that I'm doing because I'm kind of just assuming that some of it is self-evident. So we're going to come over here. We're going to use this one to make, because that's going to be making us plates. We'll use this one over here to make us our rods. Give it plenty of space. So yes, for conveyor belts, you need some kind of anchor point to start them, and then you can build them however far or however distance you want. You can rotate them, which will change the end and obviously change how they're aligned up. Once you've done that, you can then set how high it is. And if the game can, it will try and snap things in for you. But if it can't, it will be red until the game can figure out, okay, yeah, I can do this. I've actually run out of resources to be able to do it rather than anything else, so let's disassemble this. Because we don't need to be making runs that make no sense at all. And get this thing producing rods. So I am kind of skipping a step here because I picked up a bunch of these reinforced iron plates. If you haven't found them in world, you will have to make them first to be able to build some of these things. Let's have that there and do that way, because these things can only have 4 connections to them. And I want to be able to bridge things off. So these are all connected, but they're not doing anything. Why? Did I forget something? Oh no, this thing's only just starting. Okay, so that's automation on plates and automation on rods. We are going to need to go and get some more concrete. Let's quickly... What do I need? What do I need for one of these, and one of these? Actually 2 of each. Portable miners. So we already have those resources. We're going to need wires though, I think. So cables. We're going to need more cables because we have a reasonable distance to go. So hopefully that's enough. We may actually not have sufficient power to be able to power all of these things up at the same time. Yeah, we're not. And come to think of it, we don't actually want to have we don't actually want to have, what's it called? Our limestone mine all the way over there. We want to be using that, and we need something else for that first. So with that in mind, let's grab this, because we currently don't need any more copper. We have loads. But I could use this miner just to make things a little bit faster. Let's head back over to our limestone. Actually, is that one over there nearer? Actually, no, it doesn't matter, even if it is nearer. We want to be heading over there because it already has 100 limestone sitting ready. I am going to bring power with me, mostly just so that I can build a constructor over there. I could do it manually, or could do what I'm going to do by hand. I craft it by hand. So yeah, these things can go pretty damn far. That actually has a line of sight. Kind of, it goes through the hub. That's something I should mention while I've mentioned, since I'm on a similar subject. The game uses something called clearance to determine where you can build something. And depending on the type of building you're trying to build, there are 2 different kinds of clearances. This is a change for Update 5. Basically, you have hard and soft clearance. Hard clearance is typically applied to buildings, and basically does not allow buildings to be built within each other's space. We can actually show this. So if I build a constructor here, and I try to build another one, then you'll see we have encroaching others clearance, and it won't let me build there. But if I was to put down one of these conveyor power poles and try to build this conveyor, there's a creature in the way, which doesn't help. But you'll see it says overlapping others clearance clipping may occur. This basically means you can ignore that warning, assuming a creature wasn't in the way, preventing me from building the damn thing. There we go, it's yellow. So you can do that and build straight through another building if you are a heathen. But the more practical upshot of this is that now that the creature has gone, you can actually do more interesting things, like build through gaps in buildings. There. Slightly off, but you get the idea. Some buildings obviously are much larger than this and they have giant spaces in the middle of them, so soft clearance allows you to build things like poles and pipes, conveyors and pipes through that clearance ground. Anyway, I need you to make me concrete. I need you to be powered. Let's grab another lot, and let's make a second one of these so we can speed the process up. Did I bring enough stuff for a workbench? This makes things even faster because we're going to be running out of power, but we still have manpower. We only need 50, so we probably have enough. This should actually be enough, I think. We're going to leave those two things over here for the time being, just to make me a bit more concrete because we are about to spend it all. We'll just pick up this stuff, but we'll leave these here for now and head back. So that's enough concrete. Touch wood, we now have enough poles and enough plates. I think this is going to be a slightly longer episode 1, but I'm okay with that. We have a lot of basic stuff that we need to cover for those that don't want to watch a Let's Play. Or had, past tense. We are now most of the way through it. Okay, they're still running, so I don't think we have a full stack yet. Oh, we do. That one was about to jam. Oh, no, stacks are larger than 100. Stacks are slightly more dependent on... You're so about to run out, aren't you? Are you not? Yeah, flower petals was going to last me a bit longer. I was worried that they were almost out. Okay, so we should have enough for this, this, and this. And I think this is the last hub upgrade. If not, it is very close to the last. Here it comes.
Congratulations, you have unlocked Building Space Elevator, Building Biomass Burner, Heart, Biomass. Motivational message, congratulations, you succeeded in every provided task. On behalf of Fixit Incorporated, I thank you for your current and future service. Additional knowledge. The hub terminal has been converted to give access to milestones there to ensure you progress along Fixit-approved protocols. Note: future developments should be aimed at constructing the space elevator and, as such, initiating project assembly. Good luck.
Okay. There we go. So we've completed tier 1. If you skip onboarding, you will basically start at this phase. So we'll quickly go through what we have in here. So these are foundations, a lookout tower, which is basically designed to help you build. It's just so that you can get some elevation. Because the actual range you can build, or the distance you can build, is fairly significant. Where's the ladder? There's the ladder. So long as you have the visibility. That's weird. I've not seen that before. Is that a bug? I'll go over there and have a look in a second. So yeah, so I can build all the way out over there. It's just a matter of having visibility and a clean line of sight to be able to say, hey, I want to build over there. I'm going to have a look at this scary fire thingy that just disappeared. Must be a visual glitch. What was that? It's got to be an effect or a shadow or something caused by somewhere else. Oh, I bet I know what it is. I can't explain why it's there, but I bet you anything it's actually the effect you can see in the top of that, but I don't think I can get all the way up there. Ah, pipes aren't solid. I don't think I can get up here. So yeah, I think that's just the effect that renders in the top of there being misplaced for some reason. Anyway, distractions aside, yeah, so that's basically basic building materials so that you can start building actual factory buildings as opposed to just dropping things on the floor. Logistics, this is a conveyor splitter. It does what it says it does. Conveyor merger, same deal. Conveyor lift, it's a vertical conveyor belt. Productivity display, this is the thing that I was talking about. I kind of skipped that. So that will enable these readings here. Although the fact that they're there, again, makes me scratch my head. Because they're working. So it does something. I can't remember what it is. With this upgrade, you can see the efficiency of each building. But we can see that anyway. Yeah, not sure. I can't remember. We'll have a look at the main or my other save file in a second. Field research. So this is the secondary research system. I've not got the time today to unlock it, but I'll show you it in the other playthrough. Basically, it's a similar sort of thing to this. You need to collect a bunch of materials and you provide it to this building. And then after a period of time, then it will unlock kind of side upgrades. Some of them are required for main progress, but most of them are just useful tools and things like that. Object scanner allows you to scan for specific objects on the map. For example, power slugs, which we've not seen any of. Beacons are they're beacons. You drop them in the ground, they appear on the map. And then tier 2, the assembler is just a constructor that has 2 inputs. Copper sheets, rotors, motor frames, and smart platings. All of these are just construction materials. The smart plating is what we need to build the initial part of the space elevator. Is it build the initial part of the space elevator or to first submit of the space elevator? Special, isn't it? Yeah. We need to provide that for the first part of the space elevator to unlock tier 3 and 4. Chainsaw is a chainsaw. Solid biofuel is just a more efficient biofuel. Jump pads and U-jelly are kind of aerial faith plates and something to stop you from breaking your legs if you use the jump pads. The awesome sink is a resource sink, so if you have an excess of resources you can dump it into the awesome sink. It will give you tickets that you can then use in the awesome shop to unlock cosmetics. So they are different styles of buildings, basically things that you don't need to progress, but if you actually want to spend time to build a aesthetically pleasing factory, you're going to need to invest or sink some resources into this thing. Color cartridges, like I explained earlier, they'll be used to paint effectively things like giant arrows and decals on floors and walls. Upgrade for the paint gun or build gun to unlock the customizer, and then faster belts, and that's what all of those are. So with that in mind, let's quickly jump over to our main playthrough, and we will continue from here on the next part of this Let's Play. But for the time being, let us save. And then load. So here's one I made earlier. Okay, so we're going to need to quickly fix our field of view. There we go. So because this was done in upgrade or update 3, this factory, while it's running, probably doesn't run properly. Also, you will notice that there's some greenery poking through my factory. That's thanks to update 5. Because they changed a bunch of the scenery, and specifically things like positions of trees and like the types of trees. These trees didn't used to look like this. Then the update also regenerated all the trees and all the brush. So yeah, we now have trees growing through our base. Not much we can do about that. Anyway, if we come over here, this is the MAM. This is the research thing that I was talking about. If we come over to one of these, isn't complete yet. This one here. Then basically this is just a research tree. So you would select one of these, you'd need to go find the resource and bring it in, but you'd select it, hand in the resource, and then after a period of time you'd unlock the unlock this node, and this one would give you the ability to scan for nodes of that resource. And then we obviously have ingot processing. This makes wire. That increases pocket dimension. That I think is just an unlock node. This over here I haven't unlocked yet, but it would take 5 minutes to unlock, so I'm not going to worry about it. But this allows you to basically use power lines as zip lines. And then these are some extra building materials. Blade Runner is a useful thing to get. It's what I have equipped on my body slot at the minute. It allows me to run faster and jump higher, and I take less fall damage. What else? So that's the MAM. Let's show you fluid piping, and for that we need to come through here and go upstairs. This is not the best base. As you can see, you will smash your head if you're not careful on the coal generator as you're coming up here. So these are fluid pipes. So this little display here, the colour indicates the type of liquid that's in the pipe. The distance between these rings indicates how full the pipe is, and the speed at which, or the speed and size in which they are pumping like this, shows the flow rate. But you can just click the pipe and it will show you this information in here. We have flow rate, we have the amount in the pipe, etc. But this is just a visual indication, so you don't need to do that. You can also flush the pipe. If you flush the entire segment, then in this case it would flush all of this pipe here up until the point that it connects into this fluid buffer. If I flush the entire pipe network, everything that's connected along here, all the way from the original pumps into those, all the liquid gets flushed out. If we hop over here, we can see what we have here, if I can get an angle on it. There we go. Pipeline pump. So there isn't proper fluid dynamic calculations in here, but there is some amount of simulation. The main simulation they're doing is pump head, which is basically the distance between the thing that's doing the pumping and the top of the system that it has to pump to. It's the highest point in the system. So you need to be using these pump line pumps if you're going uphill. theoretically, if your pipeline is entirely downhill, then you shouldn't need them. But because we obviously need to get that water up here and into the top of this container here, we need these pump lines. These will be fed from the underside of the base. There's our space elevator. From these larger tanks, which are being fed from these water pumps. So I think this entire system is basically running at full capacity. But yeah, these 5 pumps are feeding these 2 pipes. And we have a large buffer for water here, feeding it over. So the last thing I want to quickly go over are vehicles, or more specifically vehicle automation. So I have, running around somewhere, probably stuck, a tractor. And that tractor is probably having issues. Oh no, it looks like it's okay. That tractor may have issues because of the fact that some of the trees I chopped down to make this route. So these arrows are the route that tractor is taking. Some of the trees I chopped down have grown back and are now smack bang in the middle of the route. But this is going to be how you set up multi factories, or multiple factories, and like send resources between them. Eventually you'll start using railway, which is a more efficient way of doing it. I've unlocked railways, but I never actually got to the point of actually building them. So yeah, if you look here, this tree is right in the way of this node, but fortunately they've improved the path in AI that when it hits that node, it's going to try to navigate around it, and if it tries and it can't navigate around it, what it will end up doing is just saying, okay, fine, and it will ghost through it. So we can see here that this is a little bit stuck on this tree, and now it's actually ghosted through the tree, and it's parked so that it can collect resources. So this is now loaded with coal. And the route that it's following is a route that I assigned for it. The way that you assign routes for vehicles before trains is that you drive the route yourself. And then that route will get recorded. And then you tell any vehicle of that type, and it has to be a vehicle of the type. You can't tell another vehicle. For example, I can't get the buggy to drive along a route that I programmed with a tractor. Poor thing. This is not the game's fault. That tree isn't supposed to be there. But look, it's navigated around. It's working it out. So yeah, once you've programmed a route, you can then tell the thing that you programmed it to basically run that route. And there's some other configuration options as well. I think, let me actually get in it. So if we open the record menu, oops. So I think I just told it to record. I think I just broke my path. Hide path nodes, load path. Yeah, I've accidentally deleted the path. Whoops. So yeah, so basically you click start recording, you drive along the path that you want it to follow, and then you tell it to enable autopilot. Once you've created a path, you can then get into another vehicle of the same type and then load that path in for it, and then you can have multiple vehicles running the same path. And they will try to do collision avoidance, so they're not going to run into each other. Or if they do, then again, they're going to use their pathfinder to try and find a way around it, and if they can't, then they're just going to teleport through each other. Autopilot should be enabled. Cancel. If I get out, will you continue on? Did I delete your path? I deleted your path. Okay, it's fine. We're not using this world anyway. But yeah, so vehicles are going to be the main way that you're going to move things around. They all have a nice little workbench on the back of it where you can get put some fuel in. But yeah, I think that covers everything that I wanted to talk about. So, is there anything else? Yeah, we've covered all the basic stuff and all the important stuff. So yeah, we shall leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. The plan is that this will go up on Wednesday. If it does, episode 2 of the Let's Play is targeted for Friday, and then I will figure out like how much footage I have and how much time it's taking me to split it up, and then the following week is either going to be Monday through Friday or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so either 3 or 5 depending on how much work it takes me to get this video processed, the next video encoded or recorded and processed, and if I end up being well ahead, then we'll have 5 days of footage next week. But we'll see. Those are the plans. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the show, and hopefully I will see you next time. Emote, which is the emote window. See you next time.